Imagine that we all have an antenna above our head, okay? In reality, we do, but let's just create a pretend antenna. Now, when we have an energetic shift in us, this antenna starts to broadcast everything around us so that when it broadcasts, it'll pull towards it whatever you are energetically in alignment with and whatever it is that we are broadcasting. So, when we go through an awakening, we are hypersensitive. Now, imagine that you're facing an extreme amount of stress, you are sleep deprived. What happens to you? You're highly strung. You become like you're on edge. And what happens to us when we are that edgy? We're that much more prone to become more agitated. And in that state, there'll be an us, that's the adult us, that is reactive and is going to react. But depending on the level of stress, the inner wounds might start to surface because of that heightened amount of stress. And that's why an awakening makes us highly sensitive. Not only is it highly sensitive in the sense that we can tune into that beyond the five senses, but also that we have a heightened sensitivity to stresses, to triggers. So everything that has the potential of setting us off will set us off. And remember, has the potential of setting off. So there must already be inside of us that feeling which will come to us as what was set off. So say for example, something happened and whatever happened caused us to feel a certain way. So there'll be an immediate certain way that you feel, which might be really upset, really hard done by, or right? Then immediate to that, preceding that, there'll be another one. You go a little bit lower and you'll find that the root of that reaction won't necessarily be that particular event that just took place, but it'll be a paradigm or a filing cabinet inside of you with all such experiences that have developed a particular belief that you're going to be broadcasting. Now, during an awakening, because our pain body rises up to the surface, so you'll be broadcasting even louder, I have low self-esteem, or every single wound that you have gone through, you will be broadcasting. When that is happening, all those things that were probably happening at a longer gap between each other prior to an awakening, you'll find that these things are just hitting you one after the other. You're being hit by this or that and the other, and you think, hang on, I'm so sensitive right now, I'm picking up on everything. Yes, we're picking up on everything, but we are also more reactive because our pain body has arisen to the surface. It's arisen to the surface because remember, the density is leaving, right? So that has to leave. Your self-healing is taking place. The self-organizing is taking place. So everything that has to come out to become whole again, it has to rise up to the surface. So things like repressed anger, any repressed emotions, everything is right up here, right? It's coming out. And it'll come out in so many different ways. Again, it'll depend on your awareness. It'll depend on how much you allow yourself to come out with this. So if sometimes you might have outbursts in public, but as you allow yourself, you might be gentle, and you'll know that this might cause this, and so you might come home and have a big long cry or a big rant. You might shout, you might do whatever it is to get this thing out. But as we are doing this, you'll begin to realize that it wasn't the trigger, that the trigger is not the problem. It isn't that. It's the fact that you were broadcasting. Now you'll know, what was I actually broadcasting? What has this experience, what is it telling me? It's telling me that someone crossed my boundary, right? For example, it's telling me, now, why would someone cross my boundary? Am I keeping myself that open? And why and when do we keep ourselves that open? When we're people pleasing, or maybe when we are not as rooted and anchored in our own self, in our own energy. So you go back to the drawing board, you give yourself time to have that out of your system, hopefully in a private space where you can just be yourself. And then you find out that it was you that was broadcasting. Now, often a lot of us get stuck here at this stage. And this is where a lot of us will cut people out of our lives. We'll stop talking to certain people. We'll stop talking to our best friends. Or, this is when, because what we won't realize, it's not that they are causing anything. It's our own. The disorder is here. It's here. It's within us. We are the ones with the antenna. Right? So imagine that another person already has the disposition of saying such mindless things to you, or being in a certain way, right? Maybe even someone you don't know. But your antenna is up, and it suddenly realizes, because it's broadcasting, I have low self-esteem, whatever it is broadcasting. Now, in this wave of people, one will be fetched from this wave and will solidify into something, because what you broadcast and that existing makeup of that person will match, so that they will do what they always do, but you will tune into that which is eventually going to reveal your inner deep, deep pain. And that pain is the holes inside of us, all those fragments, are those parts of us that are broken, are parts of us that have, if you like, it's like a dilapidated building that is going through repairs and renovation, and there are bits through which this thing can find its way. So those are the parts of us that all this can find its way. Now, with your awakened state, or in an awakening, as the energy rises and as your awareness grows, it will create such a surge of emotion, bigger than whatever you have been broadcasting so far. So much so that is going to take over. So eventually, when you'll become whole and whole and whole, and what you'll now be broadcasting, I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. So that whatever else anyone is doing, whatever it is happening, your perception has changed. You won't be tuning into it, because you've already reclaimed your power, like a fishing rod, right? You're reclaiming it. It's all come back to you. Lots and lots of love. Take care. Happy awakening, happy broadcasting, and may you broadcast what you really are at your core, which is a being with magnitude and magnificence. Love.